Hello guys, welcome to my channel. So in this video I will explain how to analyze the indeterminate truss by using the Castigliano's method. Actually I have explained already one problem on the same method. So I am going to explain another problem in the same method. So the previous problem is one model and this is another model. So we will see how to solve these type of models in this video. So if you haven't watched that video, so I will provide the link in the description. You can go and watch that problem also. So we will start solving this problem. And so in the question, it is given that analyze the truss as shown below by using Castigliano's method. The values shown in the brackets, that means these are the values, are indicating cross-sectional areas of that member in square centimeters. So these are centimeter square, not meter square. So we will start the problem. So as I have said in the introduction video, the first step is to calculate or check the static indeterminacy. So this is the static indeterminacy. So SI value is equal to m plus r minus 2j. M is the number of members. M indicates number of members. So you can count number of members in this truss. There are total 5 members. Plus R is the number of reactions. So now number of external reactions. So there is a hinged support here, roller support and roller support. Hinged support offers one vertical reaction and one horizontal reaction. Therefore total number of reactions are 2. Roller support offers only one vertical reaction, therefore it is 1. And the roller again it will offer one reaction. So 2 plus 1 plus 1, 3, 4 reactions. 5 plus 4 minus 2 into j is the number of joints. So 1, 2, 3, 4 joints. So the SI value is 5 plus 4, 9 minus 8. SI value is obtained as 1. So the next one is to calculate the external indeterminacy. External indeterminacy equal to number of external reactions R minus number of available equilibrium equations. You know all about equilibrium equations. So number of reactions, we are having 4 number of reactions, 2 plus 1 plus 1, 4 minus number of equilibrium equations, sigma v equal to 0, sigma h equal to 0 and sigma m equal to 0. So there are total 3 equilibrium equations. So 4 minus 3 is equal to 1. So since we obtained external indeterminacy as 1, we no need to calculate again internal indeterminacy. If you calculate, it will comes out as 0. Internal indeterminacy is equal to total SI value minus external indeterminacy. This is the formula for internal indeterminacy. So SI value is 1 minus external indeterminacy value is again 1, 0. So internal indeterminacy, there is no need to calculate this one. We obtained external indeterminacy as 1. So I have already told in the introduction video that if we get external indeterminacy, then choose any reaction as redundant. So we got external indeterminacy. In the previous problem, we got the internal indeterminacy. So that is the difference between that problem and this problem. So it is external indeterminacy. So choose any reaction as redundant. So which reaction we have to choose, how to select the reaction as redundant. So that means, see, we are having one horizontal load. In the entire loads, hinged support is the only support which offers the horizontal reaction. So we cannot take horizontal reaction here as redundant. And if we take vertical reaction at d equal to 0 as redundant, then it will looks like a simply supported beam. It will be easy for calculation of support reactions. So there is only one horizontal load, there will be another horizontal reaction here. So it is not better to take this one as redundant horizontal reaction. So I am taking vertical reaction at d. That means I will choose vertical reaction at d as Vd as redundant. So this is the first step to calculate the SI value and choose the redundant. So coming to the second step is to calculate the support reactions. So the second step is to calculate the support reactions. So now I have taken vertical reaction at D as redundant. That means I will remove this support from the truss and I will redraw the same truss with the external loads. So this is the diagram I have drawn. I have redrawn the same truss by removing the support at D. So now this is a determinate truss. So we can analyze it by using the method of joints. But before performing the method of joints, we should calculate the support reactions. So there will be a vertical reaction at A known as VA, and there will be a horizontal reaction at A which is known as HA. This horizontal load is 60 kilonewton towards right. So this will be towards left to be in order to maintain equilibrium. Okay, this is the horizontal load towards right. So I am assuming that this towards left, generally it will be towards left. So there are two reactions at hinged support and it is a roller support. Again it is having one vertical reaction only here, Vc. So we have to find out the values by using the equilibrium equations. So I am applying the first equilibrium, h equal to 0, sorry, sigma h equal to 0. So algebraic sum of all the horizontal forces equal to 0. So what are the horizontal forces we are having? HA and 60. HA is towards left side. HA is acting towards left side. So I am assuming left side as negative. So minus HA, and this 60 kilonewton is acting towards right side. So plus 60, right side positive. Therefore we will get horizontal reaction HA equal to 60 kilonewton. So we got one reaction 60 kilonewton. So there is only one load. In order to balance this one, I am applying in opposite direction. So we got one horizontal reaction. Next vertical reactions. So I will apply next equilibrium equation, sigma V equal to 0. Algebraic sum of all the vertical forces is equal to 0. So what are the vertical forces we are having? VA is the one vertical force, VC is one vertical force, and 100 kilonewton is another vertical force. So you can say that algebraic sum of all the vertical forces equal to 0. So these both are in upward direction. So upward direction positive, plus VA plus VC plus VA plus VC, this 100 kilonewton is acting downward. So minus 100 equal to 0. Therefore I got one relation that VA plus VC equal to 100. So this is one equation. So now I am applying third equilibrium equation as sigma m equal to 0, algebraic sum of all the moments about, so whatever the point you can either take A or C. So I am taking A, algebraic sum of all the moments about A equal to 0. Okay, so I am taking about A, the moments about A equal to 0, algebraic sum of moments. So we are having 1, 2 and 3. So these reactions doesn't produce any moment, since these are acting at point A and we are considering the moment also at point A. So we no need to consider these reactions. So the remaining loads are these two loads and one reaction. So we will start with this reaction, sigma m equal to 0 about A. So what is the behavior of this reaction? So if this is the member, this reaction is pushing the member in anti-clockwise direction. So it is moving in anti-clockwise direction. So I am taking anti-clockwise direction as positive. So VC into what is the perpendicular distance between the considered point and the reaction. So 4 plus 4, 8. We should take perpendicular direction. So one thing is completed. Next, again I am placing the pen here. And what is the behavior of this 100 kilonewton? It is pushing the truss in clockwise direction in this manner. So the entire truss is going to rotate. So I am placing finger here and the truss is going to rotate in clockwise direction due to this 100 kilonewton. So it is moving in clockwise direction. So I am taking negative. Clockwise is negative. I am considering. So you can also assume anti-clockwise as negative and clockwise as positive. So 100. So this is the 100 kilonewton and this is the perpendicular distance. Therefore 100 into 4. 100 into 4. So what is the behavior of this 60 kilonewton? So with respect to this point A, this 60 kilonewton is rotating the truss in clockwise direction. The entire truss is going to rotate in clockwise, and this 60 kilonewton is, so this is the 60 kilonewton and this is the perpendicular distance. So it is in clockwise direction, so negative. 60 into perpendicular distance, the perpendicular to 60 kilonewton is 4 meters, equal to 0. Therefore I will get Vc, after simplifying I got as 80 kilonewton, 80 kilonewton, and Va as 20 kilonewton. So I am placing this 80 kilonewton here. Okay, this 80 kilonewton here. So 100 minus Vc, 100 minus 80, 20. So in this way I have calculated all the support reactions. Va equal to 20 kilonewton, Vc equal to 80 kilonewton. So in the second step we have calculated the support reaction. So coming to the next step, it is to calculate the P0 forces. So we should calculate the P0 forces by using the method of joints. So before calculation of P0 forces, so we should calculate the length of these inclined members. So this is 4 meters, this is 4 meters. Therefore hypotenuse will be square root of 4 square plus 4 square. It is 4 root 2, 5.65 meters. Similarly 4 square, square root of 4 square plus 4 square, 4 root 2. In decimals it comes out as 5.65 meters. And consider this angle as theta and this one also as theta. Now by using the method of joints, we should go to each joint and resolve the forces in horizontal and vertical directions. So I am starting with joint A. So I am drawing the joint A. So I am drawing this portion separately here. So what are the forces we are having at joint A? So this is joint A and this is the member in inclined direction. So this is joint A, this is B, and again there is another member AD, and there is a vertical reaction here, 20 kilonewton in upward direction, 20 kilonewton and 60 kilonewton towards left. So I have drawn the free body diagram of joint A. Now we should find the forces in member AB and AD. So this is the angle theta. So now initially calculate the values of sin theta and cos theta. So we all know that sin theta is equal to opposite side by hypotenuse. That means opposite side is 4 meters by hypotenuse is 4 root 2. It is 1 by root 2. So similarly cos theta is equal to adjacent side by hypotenuse, again 4 by 4 root 2. It is 1 by root 2. So we got both sin theta and cos theta as 1 by root 2. So it will be easy for calculation if we write in fraction form. So now I am resolving the force in vertical direction initially. So take sigma v equal to 0. If we take sigma v equal to 0, the 20 kilonewton load is acting upward direction. So plus 20. Okay. Now resolving this force vertically. So initially you have to assume the force in member AB either in compression or tension. So what I will do is that, so since this 20 kilonewton is acting upward direction, in order to balance the joint I will assume that this one in downward direction. So this reaction is in upward direction and the force in member AB will be in downward direction. This is my assumption. Okay, this is the downward direction. So now after resolving, so this is plus 20 and this is coming, so I should resolve in vertical direction. This is coming in downward direction. So after resolving this member in vertically, I will get it as PAB sin theta. It is the sin component. So since it is acting downwards here, okay, this arrow is acting towards bottom, downward. So minus PAB sin theta equal to 0. Now 20 minus PAB into sin theta we got as 1 by root 2 here. So 1 by root 2 equal to 0. Now from this equation PAB equal to 20 root 2 kilonewton. So now the most important thing is to identify whether it is in tension or compression. So observe the position of direction of arrow here. So what is the behavior of this arrow? This arrow and this joint. This arrow is pressing this joint. This arrow is towards the joint. That means it is pressing. So it will be in compression. Okay. Now again I will apply sigma h equal to 0. Sigma h equal to 0. So what are the horizontal forces we are having? So initially this member I have resolved vertically. Now I will resolve it horizontally. So PAB, if this is sin theta, this will be cos theta, and there is member AD. So what I will do is, since the forces are acting towards left, I will assume that it will act towards right, PAD. So you cannot compare these two arrows and you cannot say that it is in compression. Okay, this arrow is obtained by the resolving of this member. This arrow is belonging to the member AD. So you cannot compare these both arrows. PAB cos theta, PAD and 60 kilonewton are the horizontal forces. 60 kilonewton is acting towards left, so minus 60. PAB cos theta is also acting towards left, minus PAB cos theta. PAD is acting towards right. So this is my assumption. Okay, so all the forces are towards left, and I assumed that it will be in right direction, right side direction, in order to ensure static equilibrium. PAD. So algebraic sum of all horizontal forces finally equal to 0. So substitute the values. Minus 60 minus PAB we got as 20 root 2 into cos theta 1 by root 2 plus PAD equal to 0. Therefore we got PAD as 80 kilonewton in. So now we have to identify whether it is in compression or tension. So PAD is equal to 80 kilonewton. So this is the arrow. This is 80 kilonewton. This is the joint. So comparing with this joint, so you can identify that the direction this arrow is dragging or pulling the joint. So it is a pulling force. So it will be in tension. Okay. So this is the force. These are the forces we have obtained on resolving at joint A. So after joint A, I will take joint C for analyzing. Joint C. So at joint C, what are the forces we are having? So this is the, so first of all I will draw one joint C. So from C there is a member in inclined direction. So this CB. So I will draw the same here. This is B, this is C, and in horizontally we are having another member as CD. So this is the angle theta, and there is vertical reaction here 80 kilonewton. Okay, so now again same process. Sigma V equal to 0 at joint C I am applying. So sigma V equal to 0, that means we have to identify all the vertical forces. So this is the inclined one. So I should resolve first in vertical direction. Okay, I have already told you that if this arrow, this reaction is in upward direction, then assume the force in member BC in downward direction. So after resolving this member BC, you will get it as PBC sin theta. The inclination of theta is here, so this will be sin theta. It is towards the joint, so this arrow should also be towards the joint. PBC sin theta, it is, so 80 kilonewton is upward, so plus 80, and this arrow is towards downwards, so minus PBC sin theta equal to 0. So therefore 80 minus PBC into sin theta we got as 1 by root 2 equal to 0. Therefore, PBC is equal to 80 root 2 kilonewton. Okay, so this arrow is pressing, so it is towards the joint, it is pressing the joint C, so it will be in compression. So we have completed sigma v equal to 0. Now I will resolve in horizontal direction. I will resolve this member in horizontal direction. If I resolve this one in horizontal direction, then the arrow will be towards the joint. This will be PBC cos theta. It is the cos component. Okay, this is the PBC cos theta, and I will assume the force in CD in this direction. So this force is in this direction. Now I will assume the force in CD in towards left direction. So this is PCD, this is PBC. So here please note that this arrow is for PCD, this arrow is for PBC. You cannot compare these two arrows and say that the member is in compression. So this is for this member, so this is for the member CD. Okay, the both arrows are different. So this is moving in left side direction, so minus PCD. This one is moving in right side direction, plus PBC cos component, so cos theta equal to, there are no forces here, so 0, minus PCD plus PBC we have just calculated as 80 root 2 into cos theta is 1 by root 2 equal to 0. From this we got PCD as 80 kilonewton. This force as 80 kilonewton. This 80 kilonewton is pulling, dragging this joint away from the joint, so it will be in tension. So we got the forces at joint C. Now I will take joint D. Joint D. So this is the joint D. So draw the free body diagram of joint D. This is the free body diagram of joint D. It is D. This is A, and this will be C. Okay, so there are no inclined members at joint D, so there is no need to resolve the forces in horizontal and vertical direction. Okay, now in force in AD, so we have already calculated PAD 80 kilonewton in tension. So this is the 80 kilonewton in tension. The tensile force should be indicated in this manner. This is the way of representation of tensile force. And similarly PCD we got 80 kilonewton as again tension. The arrows are towards each other, 80 kilonewton. So in the member you can assume either upward or downward direction. So I am assuming in upward direction. Here there will be PB. So we have to apply sigma v equal to 0. We have to find the force in this member. So PBD, it is in upward direction. So there are no downward forces. So equal to 0. There will be no force in PBD. So it is equal to 0. So after the calculation of P0 forces, we will place all these values in one diagram. Okay, so the first one, PAB 20 root 2 compression. So this is in compression. So PAB. So compression, to indicate the compression, the arrows will be in opposite direction, away from each other, I mean 20 root 2. So you can see here 20 root 2 compression, 20 root 2 in compression. I am showing in compression. So in order to identify easily, I am rounding off all the compression values just for easier identification of a particular force. And next one is PAD 80 kilonewton tensile force. Tensile force means the arrows must be towards each other, 80 kilonewton. And next member is PBC 80 root 2 compression. So the arrows must be away from each other, 80 root 2 compression. So next one is PCD 80 kilonewton. So this one is in tension. So arrows must be towards each other, 80 kilonewton. And we got PBD as equal to 0. So this one is equal to 0. So these are the values we have just calculated, and we have indicated all the values in one diagram. So these are known as P naught forces, and this diagram is known as P naught diagram. P naught diagram. Okay. So after completion of P naught analysis, we will move on to the fourth step, that is P1 forces. Now P1 analysis, calculation of P1 forces. So what we will do in the P1 analysis is that whatever the redundant we have taken, that means the support at D is taken as redundant. So in this process we will apply 1 kilonewton reaction at D, and again we will perform the method of joints analysis and find out the forces in all the members. Same method, same process. So we will see. So I am applying 1 kilonewton reaction at VD, and again I will draw the diagram representing the redundants. So this is the diagram I have drawn, and now what I will do is that I will apply 1 kilonewton reaction at D. So since I have taken reaction at D as redundant, I am applying 1 kilonewton at D, and I will calculate the support reactions. So I don't know whether the support reactions are whether in upward direction or downward direction. So I haven't placed any arrows here. So we will see. So sigma V equal to 0. So I am assuming, so this is VA and this is VC. Okay. Now VA, I am assuming vertical reaction at A as upward direction, VC also as in upward direction. Since these two forces that I assumed are in upward direction, I will write VA plus VC plus 1 kilonewton is also in upward direction, so plus 1 equal to 0. Now again another equation I am applying, sigma m equal to 0. So sigma m equal to 0 about A. So I am placing finger here, and this VC I have assumed in upward direction. So it is lifting the truss in anti-clockwise. So it is lifting in this direction. So it is anti-clockwise. I am taking it as positive. VC into here to here, the perpendicular distance is 4 plus 4, 8. Now this 1 kilonewton. This 1 kilonewton is also lifting in upward direction. So that is anti-clockwise. So this is also positive. 1 into perpendicular direction is 4 equal to 0. On solving this, I got VC equal to minus 1 kilonewton. So I will place this minus 1 in this equation. Now, so by VC and VA, I got both negative values. So minus half kilonewton I have substituted in this equation. So VA minus half plus 1. So I got VA plus half equal to 0. VA equal to minus 1 by 2 kilonewton. So since I got both reactions in negative values, so this will be in downward direction. I have assumed in upward direction, so I got negative values. So it will be in downward direction. VA is equal to half kilonewton and VC is also equal to half kilonewton. So we have calculated the support reactions. So now again by using the method of joints, we will calculate the forces in each member. So I am considering joint A. I will draw the free body diagram here. So these are the members we are having at joint A. This is A, this is B, and this is D. This half kilonewton is acting downward direction 1 by 2. So now at this joint I am applying sigma V equal to 0. So when I am applying sigma V equal to 0, I should resolve this AB member vertically. If this is the theta, then it will be PAB sin theta. So what is the direction? This is in the downward direction. So I should assume in upward direction. So I will get positive value. So this is away from the joint. This is also away from the joint. So it is going upward direction. So plus PAB sin theta. this is downward direction, so minus 1 by 2 equal to 0. PAB, so PAB into sin theta is 1 by root 2 minus half equal to 0. So from this we will get PAB equal to 1 by root 2. So PAB is equal to 1 by root 2 kilonewton. So what is the nature of force? So this arrow is away from joint, it is pulling the joint, so it is dragging the joint, so it will be in tension. So this is tensile force 1 by root 2. After applying sigma V equal to 0 at the same joint, I will apply sigma H equal to 0. So if I apply sigma H equal to 0, then you should resolve this member horizontally. So if you resolve this member horizontally, it will be PAB cos theta. So this is PAB cos theta towards right side, so positive value PAB cos theta. So this is resolved, and this member, the force in member AD, now I will assume in this direction towards left, so minus PAD equal to 0. So substitute the PAB value which we have obtained previously, 1 by root 2 into cos theta is again 1 by root 2 minus PAD equal to 0. PAD is 1 by 2. PAD we got 1 by 2 kilonewton. So what is the nature of this PAD? So you forget about this arrow. This arrow is about PAB. So you cannot consider this one. So now consider this arrow is pressing this joint towards the joint. So it is in compression. This arrow is in compression. So the way of representation of compressive force is the arrows should be away from each other. So we got the value 1 by 2. So since it is a compression, I will round off it. Next we will go to joint C. Again joint C, again apply sigma V equal to 0. Before applying, for easier understanding, please draw the free body diagram. So this is in downward direction, half kilonewton, and this is the joint C, this is joint B, D and theta. So since this one is in downward direction, you assume this one is upward direction. So after resolving it vertically, you will get upward as PBC sin theta. Okay, upward. So this reaction is in downward, you assume in upward direction, so positive PBC sin theta minus half equal to 0. So we got so we have to find PBC sin theta. We know that 1 by root 2 minus 1 by 2 equal to 0. On solving this, you will get PBC is equal to 1 by root 2 kilonewton. So what is the nature of this 1 by root 2 kilonewton? It is acting away from the joint, so it will be in tension, tensile force. So what is the way of representation of tensile force? The arrows should be towards each other, and this is 1 by root 2 PBC. Now we will calculate the value of PCD. So to calculate, I will apply sigma H equal to 0. So now resolve this member horizontally. You will get PBC. If this is sin theta, this will be cos theta. It is acting left side, so I will take negative PBC cos theta. Now assume the force in member CD as in this direction. So since already a force is acting in left direction, so to balance it, you assume in right side direction. So plus PCD or DC, anything. So now we got PBC as 1 by root 2, cos theta again 1 by root 2 plus PCD equal to 0. So it is obtained as PCD is equal to 1 by 2 kilonewton. So don't consider this joint, sorry, this arrow. This is the PCD. PCD just we have calculated half kilonewton. This is acting towards joint C. So it is pressing the joint C. So it is in compression. Okay. Now I will represent that one also in this diagram. So this is in compression. So we have done the P naught analysis and P1 analysis, and this member, coming to this member, is acting in upward direction. Just by seeing we can say, if this 1 kilonewton is acting in upward direction, then another 1 kilonewton will act in downward direction. Okay, now if this arrow is towards the joint, then other arrow should also be towards that corresponding joint. Okay, if this arrow is towards the joint, that means it is pressing the joint C. So another arrow is assumed in upward direction, so this will be in 1 kilonewton compression. So the arrows are away from each other, so it is 1 kilonewton. These forces are known as P1 forces, and this diagram is known as P1 diagram. So coming to the last and final step, that is fifth step, calculation of P forces, final forces in the all the members. So in this step we will draw the tabular form and we will calculate the final forces in each member. So this is the format of the table: member, length, area, P0 plus P1 into R1, P1, P1 of P0 plus P1 R1 into L whole divided by A, final force P equal to P0 plus P1 R1. So you have to place all the members here. Whatever the members we are having in the truss, we have to write all here: AB, BC, CD, AD and BD. So now we have written all the members and length. So length of member AB, length of member BC, length of member CD, so length of member AD, and similarly area of member AB, area of member BC, area of member CD and AD and BD. So we have to place all those values in these columns. So those are given in the question itself, so we can place all the values here. So I have placed all the values in this column. So please note that the length is in the question, it is given that in meters. So I have converted the meters into centimeters because area is also given in square centimeters. So 5.65 meters is obtained as 565. 4 meters is 400 meters. So 1 meter equal to 100 centimeters. So all the units should be in one system. So next, P0 plus P1 R1. So before starting this column, please fill this column. So we have obtained the P1 forces from P1 diagram. By seeing that diagram, place those values here. So for the member AB, 1 by root 2, it is in tension. So 1 by root 2. So for member BC, it is also in tension, 1 by root 2. So similarly for the member CD, it is in compression, so minus 1 by 2. Compression means minus 1 by 2. So for member AD, 1 by 2, it is in compression, so again 1 by minus 1 by 2. And BD, it is also in compression, so minus 1. So we have placed all the values obtained from P1 forces. Now we should calculate these equations. So the equations are formed by calculation of these values. The formula is P0 plus P1 into R1. P0 value for AB member is 20 root 2. It is in compression. So minus 20 root 2 plus P1 value for AB member is 1 by root 2. 1 by root 2 into R1. We don't know that value. So next, P0 value for member BC is minus 80 root 2. It is in compression. So minus 80 root 2 again plus P1 1 by root 2 into R1. CD, for the member CD, it is 80 kilonewton tension. So positive value 80 plus P1 value is minus 1 by 2 into R1. So P0 values are obtained from P0 diagram. Similarly for the member AD 80 kilonewton tension, 80 plus P1 value is minus 1 by 2 into R1. For the member BD, it is 0. So 0 again plus P1 value is minus 1 by 1 into R1. So we have obtained these values. So now the formula is P0 into P0 plus sorry, P1 into P naught plus P1 R1 into L by A. So you should multiply these both columns and length column whole divided by area. So 1 by root 2 into minus 20 root 2, it is minus 20. Again 1 by root 2 into 1 by root 2, it is 1 by 2 R1. So the L by A, that means 565 by 30, it is 18.83. So similarly we have to calculate all the values. So again 1 by root 2 into minus 80 root 2, it is minus 80. 1 by root 2 into 1 by root 2 is 1 by 2 and R1. Again 565 by 30 is 18.83. So I am writing this one directly. So minus 1 by 2 into 80, it is minus 40. Minus 1 by 2 into minus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 4 and into R1 into 400 by 20, it is 20. Minus 1 by 2 into 80 minus 40. Minus 1 by 2 into minus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 4 into R1. Again 400 by 20 is 20. Minus 1 into 0, 0. Minus 1 into minus 1 plus 1 into R1 divided by L by A. That means 20. 400 by 20 is again 20. Now the next thing is that we have to add all these values. We will get sigma value. So while adding minus 20 into 18.83, you will get some value. Again plus minus 80 into 18.83. You should multiply these both and you should add. You should not add minus 20, minus 80, minus 40, minus 40. You should not do like that. So since there is a multiplication here, minus 20 into 18.83 plus minus 80 into 18.83 plus minus 40 into 20 plus minus 40 into 20 plus 0. Here there is no constant value here. So you will get that minus 3483. So once again I am telling, don't add minus 20, minus 80, minus 40, minus 40. So you should multiply these values and again for all the members, and you should calculate that value. Similarly for R1 also, plus 18.83 into 1 by 2 plus 18.83 into 1 by 2 plus 20 into 1 by 4 plus 20 into 1 by 4 plus 20 into 1. You will get 48.83 into R1. So this is the sigma PL by A value. So now we will apply the equation here. So we know that delta equal to sigma PL by AE. Okay. Now from this you separate sigma PL by A into 1 by E. I have separated the 1 by E value. So sigma PL by A value we have obtained here. So I am substituting here minus 3483 plus 48.83 R1 by, so sorry, the whole value is PL by AE. There won't be any division here, into 1 by E equal to delta. So what is delta? Here there is no settlement or any deflection in the truss, so it will be finally equal to 0. So after that minus 3483 plus 48.83 R1 equal to 0. From this equation on solving, I got R1 equal to 71.33 kilonewton. Now the final step is to substitute this R1 equal to 71.33 kilonewton in this equation. That means minus 20 root 2 plus 1 by root 2 into 71.33. You will get 22.15. Again minus 80 root 2 plus 1 by root 2 into R1. That means 71.33. You will get minus 62.70. Similarly, in the place of R1, you substitute this value and calculate the final forces. So I am directly writing the values. So these are the forces which we have obtained after substituting this value in this column. So this is the process of analyzing the forces. And one more thing you should calculate is the final reactions. So we should also calculate the final reactions. So first, there are actually in the given question there are two reactions here, VA and VC in the P naught diagram. So we will calculate the final reactions. So in the P naught diagram we are having 20 kilonewton. So I will write here for VA. This is for VA. So 20 kilonewton in the P naught diagram, 20 kilonewton upward. So positive plus 20. In the P1 diagram we are having vertical reaction in downward direction as half kilonewton. Since it is in downward, I will write 1 by 2 into R1 equal to 0. It is VA equal to VA. Okay. Now what I will do is that 20 minus 1 by 2 into R1 is I got as 71.33 equal to VA. Therefore VA equal to minus 15.66 kilonewton. So this is the value of VA final reaction. This is similarly for VC. In P naught diagram 80 kilonewton is acting upward direction, so plus 80. In P1 diagram half kilonewton is acting downward direction, so minus half into R1 equal to VC. This is the vertical reaction. So 80 minus half into 71.33 equal to VC. So therefore VC equal to 44.33 kilonewton. This is the final reaction at VA and VC. Now we should calculate the reaction VD. VD is, so VD in the P naught diagram there is no reaction for VD, so 0, plus in this P1 diagram 1 kilonewton is acting upward, so plus 1 into R1. You should multiply with R1. So what is the value of R1 here? 71.33 kilonewton. So this is the vertical reaction. So after calculation of these values, now we will apply a small check for this one. The check is that sigma V equal to 0. That means algebraic sum of all the vertical forces should be equal to 0. What are the vertical forces here? VA plus VD plus VC minus 100 equal to 0. So in the given question, VA upward direction, VD upward direction, VC upward direction and 100 kilonewton downward direction. VA plus VD plus VC minus 100 kilonewton equal to 0. That is the equation for the sigma V equal to 0. So now place VA is equal to minus 15.66 plus VD 71.33 plus VC 44.33 minus 100 equal to 0. So just I have applied sigma V equal to 0. So at the reactions there will be upward vertical reactions and the 100 kilonewton is downward. So sum of all upward forces equal to sum of all downward forces. So this should be equal to 0 finally. So this value coming as 0 equal to 0. Hence analysis is okay. So this is the process of analyzing the indeterminate truss for external indeterminacy. If it is given external indeterminacy, then you have to calculate the final reactions at last. Okay, so this is the Castigliano's method, and thank you.